This, let's be clear, this was a racist attempt to overturn an election. This was more about trying to disenfranchise the voices of the Black, brown, indigenous people's voices, trying to invalidate our votes because we turned out in large numbers for this election, and to tell us that our votes don't count, that they don't matter, that's another form of voter suppression. And also to all of those grassroots groups, those Black and brown organizers, those groups that push to help bring this win home for President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, we won't stand for it. And so I'm speaking up. You are going to hear that we're not going to let this go because this is a racist attempt. We have to call it what it is. It's white supremacy at its finest.
Well, let me ask you this. The 6th of January was your 4th day in Congress, your 3rd day in Congress, something like that. I mean, I just cannot imagine your first week on the job, just in any job. I mean, if you were an accountant or a doctor or, you worked in a news network that got overrun by a mob, I mean, how are you processing this?
I think I have had a lot of time to understand, what movement looks like and what protest looks like. And so I have been in a state of fight or flight probably dealing with from the Ferguson uprising till now, just kind of being in that place. So when this happened, even though that was not a protest, let me be clear, that was not a protest, but being in that type of a space and being in a place where you have to always be ready at any moment when you have these white supremacist attacks after you, I've been living there for the last 6 years. So that was not the thing. The thing for me was I was told that I would be safe in this place. That even though where I live at home in St. Louis, things may be a little different. I was told when you're at the Capitol, you are safe. Our staff would be safe. The rest of the staff here, the custodians and everyone else, the chefs, the cooks, everybody would be safe, but we weren't. So that was the thing. And so now processing it, especially as a Black woman, I'm a Black woman that stands to call out white supremacy. I call out failed leadership. I call out corruption. I call out and say we need to defund the police. I'm very clear on those things. That Black Lives Matter, and we should have the right to be able to stand up and say that and save lives. I speak on that. And so to be here and have that happen, that was unnerving. And that's why this is so important. We have to, those people who work, those Congress members who work to help incite this insurrection, they must be expelled. They should not be able to be in the same space to do the exact same, to vote, to represent a district that is not only made up of people who look like them and believe what they believe. No, you have to represent and serve all the people, and since you chose not to, then you should not be here.
Final question for you. There was a strange thing that happened on the floor tonight. I know you weren't there, but we've been getting reports. I think due to security concerns, which frankly are a little unnerving, which I think are some Democratic colleagues a little concerned about their Republican colleagues, there were magnetometers, metal detectors placed for members to pass through on entrance into the House chamber itself, so that members who are carrying, Lauren Boebert, freshman member who's very vocal about the fact she wants to carry, there was then a standoff, and a bunch rushed around or rushed through, or one knocked over apparently a Capitol Police officer, or bumped into a Capitol Police officer, I should be precise with my language, and had basically just evaded it and said, this doesn't apply to us. And I know you're not there, that's what we know so far, and more facts, but just your reaction to that. Many of the people are the kinds of people I think that voted, to overturn the election as well.
So when I went in, I didn't see that take place. There was a line of people that were waiting to go through the metal detectors. So in the place where I was, people were just waiting in line, and we went through without incident. But for those that did that, first of all, we're talking about your job. Let's just look at it from the most basic level. If you work at McDonald's, you have to wear the uniform or you're not working today. If you are, wherever you are, when you're told this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, or you're not working. And I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know, have they ever had a job before? Also, how How do you get on a plane? You have to go, so to say that this is against your rights, do you rush through and not go through the detector, with the metal detectors when you're trying to get on a plane? Like, that's a bunch of bull crap. Again, that is them trying to push the limits as far as they can. We have Congress members who have said that they want to carry their guns on the floor, on the House floor. We have Congress members who bring their guns to our office buildings. This is where we should feel safe, but you're bringing your guns to the office building. I don't feel safe around that. Many people don't feel safe with that. And you know what? If you won't abide, if they won't abide by the simple things that this job calls for, then go find another one.
Congresswoman, Congresswoman Cori Bush with some advice. Thank you very much, Congresswoman. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, more members